In a recent video on the Hatfield investigation, I hear a strange yipping noise. In this video, I try to unpack that and try to work out in my mind, what did I hear? Did I hear thylacine? G'day, so we've just recently put up a video of the Hatfield investigation we did, where I was dumped on the side of the road and I was there alone, quiet, and probably to elaborate and describe that experience a little bit more, because it goes along with, at the moment on our TRU channel, we're putting up video footage of, the trail cameras that we've had in the area, and just to explain what actually happened that night and what I think it could be. You see, on this channel we try to keep an open mind. We're not saying that thylacine is alive and well, but we are open to the possibility that it could be, and we're open-minded to have that investigation. So we're not saying no, it's not there. We're not saying yes, it is there. We're just doing an investigation. So hopefully, looking at it with a bit of a balanced view, I'm going to try and describe what happened that night. So put on the side of the road there, pitch black, no torch, no light, and absolute silence. Now this could have been just because the car drove by, but it was quiet for a really long time. I would have expected some of the animals to make noises, and there were no noises, and so I thought that was kind of odd. There was no frogs or crickets or any sort of noise like that. I had this feeling that I was being watched, and it was just a feeling, nothing more than a feeling. There's no proof or evidence there. I think it's just, being dumped on the side of the road in the wilderness and not having a torch, light, fire, any of those sort of human things, makes you sort of feel all of a sudden slightly vulnerable. And I just sort of thought, now hang on, this is Tasmania. There's nothing in Tasmania that could hurt you or bite you, unless there's a thylacine that's still alive. And I thought, if a thylacine come out and bit me, I'd have some really cool scars. So I had thylacine on the brain. So first of all, every noise we hear, we shouldn't immediately go for thylacine. If that's on your brain, that is already, not keeping an open mind either way, that's already sort of honing in on one side of the argument. So I already had that on my mind. I thought I'd do an experiment, because when we filmed Hunt for the Tasmanian Tiger, the sound guy there did a oh, oh, oh sort of noise and got a response. And I thought, nothing to lose, might as well try it. So I go oh, 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 and I hear this yip in the background, distant. It seemed to me, and this is my perception, and let's face it, we're not always great at perceiving sound. It sounded like a large animal a long way away, and it didn't sound like a normal dog noise. It was a yip. Then I heard another yip, which sounded further away, and again, my mind is trying to analyze and work out what's happening here. So the other yip, I sort of immediately thought, it's a large mammal. One's made a noise which is closer to me, another one's made a noise that's further away. That could be like, 500 meters apart and probably 100 meters away from me. Because it was in a bit of a valley and it echoed through the valley a bit. I was sort of like hair standing up on the back of my neck. I was thinking, there's something here with me. That sounds like large, it sounds like a mammal. And keep in mind that my experience has been working in a wildlife park with creatures that are regional to the area. So I've worked with owls and tawny frogmouths and birds of prey. I've worked with all the marsupials. In fact, I've hand-reared nearly all the marsupials. I know all the different devil noises, quoll noises. it was like none of those that I'd had actually experienced, except for maybe one, which I sort of, when you go through your mind, you think it's a big animal. You start going through the big animals. Is it a kangaroo cough? It's not a kangaroo cough. Is it, you know, a Tassie devil? Is it a quoll? You start going down. About halfway through the list, I just sort of didn't really think much more about it. So Chris and Warren come back. I was very excited. Quick, get the sound out. And think they may have heard something, but by the time they got the video camera out, whatever it was, it stopped making the noise. On reflection, it was very similar to a sugar glider. So this is where the perception was out. It could have been closer to me, a sugar glider. It could have been in a log, a hollow log, and it could have amplified it and made it sound deeper and louder than the normal yip of a sugar glider. So that's a possibility. I have worked with sugar gliders. I've hand-reared 2 sugar gliders, and in my zoo wildlife park experience, I have looked after quite a lot of adult ones. I've had them in small enclosures, and they do yip in a small enclosure. Not very often, but occasionally. Out in the wild, I assume that they might do it more as a contact call. So probably leaning towards that's probably what I heard. However, I can't say for 100% sure that that is what I have heard. It is very similar to what a lot of people describe thylacine as. I'm not very familiar with foxes, so I went and listened to all the YouTube calls, fox calls and things like that. It definitely wasn't a fox. So I'm kind of left with either it's a thylacine, or it's a sugar glider, and the circumstances of that night, still night, where it was in the valley, how the noise may have travelled on, and if it was in a hollow, you know, sound is one of those things which travels around, and it can sound different under certain circumstances and certain nights. I guess I lean towards sugar glider and maybe slightly prejudiced towards sugar gliders because I know that they're alive now. My mind also goes to thylacine because I know, like, you know, in the last 100 years the thylacines have existed. They have roamed these forests here in Tasmania. What's the most likely? What do I believe now? Let's say I'm 80% sure it's a sugar glider. I am probably, you know, more than 20% chance that it could be something else, because they're unknown. We just don't immediately jump to thylacine, but I throw thylacine in there as a possibility because, like I say, it's Tasmania, it's their natural habitat. If I was not looking for thylacine, I'd probably put it in as a 3 or 4% chance anyway. So since I was looking for thylacine, I'm trying not to be prejudiced to go towards that as the answer. Hard to say. But other people have heard this yipping noise before, and we do have sugar gliders around here, so hard to tell. So I don't know whether it's a thylacine or not, but we certainly put out a lot of trail cameras, and the problem is we've got so much footage to go through, we just can't look at it all. Look, I'm going to throw up a link here, link in the description of this video, or just check through the TRU videos and have a look at what we've got there, and you'll find that there is trail cam footage there. Listen, if you can sort of go through it and find something strange that we can't identify, just put a timestamp there or a time code, just write it in the comments. That'd be great. Check out these other videos, and I'll see you again.